Welcome back to another edition of Fly Tying for Beginners with Jim Misiurra. Today we're going to tie a streamer, and this is a old classic streamer. This one is called the Warden's Worry. I'm starting out with a number 6 streamer hook, and I'm going to use black thread. We're going to put a base of thread down. We're going to hold that thread at the 45-degree angle and bring that back. But if you get some spaces in there, not a big deal, because this is a streamer and there's going to be a few layers on that hook before we get to the finished. We're going to bring that back to, this is a barbless hook, but I'm going to stop it just before it would be at the barb if you're using a barbed hook. We're going to start out with a tag, and I'm going to use gold tinsel. This is gold and silver. This is a number 14. And we're going to use this tag, and we're going to also incorporate it into the rib. So we're going to start out, we're going to tie this in so I can see this silver side. We're going to take this and we're going to wind it backwards. And when we wind it, we're going to see the gold side. We're going to take that back just 3 or 4 wraps, and then we're going to come forward. And then I'm going to tie that off, and I want to tie it on the bottom side so that it's kind of out of my way. Just going to give that a couple of wraps to secure it in place, then kind of just push that out of my way. Now for the tail, you can use the original pattern called for a red duck quill or a red goose quill, but I'm going to use a red hackle because I don't have any red goose quills or duck quills. I'm just going to take about close to a ½ inch of those from the stem, and we'll make that about half the length of the hook shank. We're going to tie that in right there. Kind of roll there a little bit. There we go. And we could just take a few wraps to secure that going on up and bring that back. Now the body is going to have a yellow-orange wool. This is wool roving. You can use a wool yarn. I'm going to use this as a dubbing it onto the thread. I'm just going to pull some out. You can see how it's kind of all staying together here with this wool roving. I'm going to dub this onto my thread. This wool is a little hard to dub, but just, you know, give it some nice tight wraps. And like I said, you can use a yellow-orange wool yarn, so getting this real tight is not a big concern. Of course, you want to get it tight so it's not falling off, but getting it super tight is not a real big concern. It is a body of a minnow, so you want to get that, keep that thick. we're going to start, we're going to go back. I'm just going to hold this out of my way because my tinsel is a little bit in my way there. I'm going to hold that tinsel tightly out of my way. Bring that to the back and then move that forward. I have about 6 inches here and I'm going to use it all, possibly even more. And of course, twist it more as you go, as needed. Going to back off on that one just a little bit. I gotta get that a little bit tighter. There we go. And we want to leave that maybe 2 eye lengths from the eye of the hook. Now I'm going to take my rib and I'm going to wrap that, and I want that to come out to be gold, and I can see if I'm going that way I'm going to be silver, so I'm just going to take that and counter wrap that so that I get that nice gold on there. It's secured at the back, so it's not going to be a concern for counter wrapping it. And we're going to go ahead and secure that at the front. And we could trim away the excess. Now for the throat, I'm going to use a yellow hackle. You don't want a real large yellow hackle. When you have it on there, you can see there how short it is. You don't really want them to be all the way to the back. So I'm going to take this hackle. I'm going to remove the bottom softer portion. And I'm going to trim that. And we have that trimmed, and I gave it the crew cut. You can see the little stubs there. And we're going to tie that in. And giving it that crew cut, that gives the thread something to hold. I'm going to take my hackle pliers because this is a small hackle. I'm going to hold them up, and I'm going to bring everything to one side. Use the natural way that the feather is to get it all on one side. I'm going to wrap all of this in. Right up to my hackle pliers. Now we're going to secure that. We'll give it 3 wraps. Now we're going to trim that hackle. Now I'm going to pull everything towards the back. What's on top, I'm going to try to divide it and get that towards the sides or the bottom a little bit. Then I'm going to pull everything towards the back. We pull everything towards the back, and we're going to wrap back on that a little bit, and that's going to push the hackle towards the rear. There we go. For the tail, we're going to use a light brown bucktail, and the one I have here, this is actually a fluorescent yellow, but this top part here is a nice color like yellowish brown, nice lighter brown. So I'm going to use that top part. I just select a bunch and cut them out of the middle there. Pull the short ones out and the long ones out. Then you can take a hair stacker. I have a large hair stacker for large deer hair like this. So I'm going to put that in that hair stacker. Using the hair stacker is kind of a personal thing if you want them more even, or if you don't want them as even, then don't put them in a hair stacker. Just knock that on my knuckles a couple times. I lift the insert a little bit and then knock them again. And we have nicely stacked deer hair right there. I'm going to take them out again. And as you can see, they are all different lengths at the front. And I'm going to size that up. I can still see there's still a few loose ones there, so I'm just going to keep plucking them out, plucking them out. Okay, I got the size. I want that to go to about the tip of the tail. Now I'm going to trim that off. And I trim that off at a slight angle there. Going to bring my thread up to the front. I don't want to get a couple loose ones again from handling. Just gonna trim that just a little bit there again. Keep my thread up front. Start at the front. Make sure you hold them in place. And move to the back, and you'll get them all, and they will be nice and secure. Now we're going to finish the head. This is 16-aught thread, so it takes a few wraps to get that secured. I'm coming back on it a little bit. And I see I got a couple of threads that are hackles that I captured going forward. So I'm going to whip finish it now. I'm going to trim this off. Now we can do our little final touches. I got one hair on that other side. Could pull that out. Now I'm going to carefully surround all of the material. I'm going to take a lighter, and with the bottom part of the flame, I'm going to, got to be careful because you can easily burn your thread. Put a little bit of head cement on there, a little bit of UV cure if you want. Give yourself a nice solid head. I'm going to just put head cement, my Sally Hansen's. Go all the way around with that. And here we have the Warden's Worry. Hope that you learned something from this video. Hope you would subscribe to my channel. Please refer me to your friends. Please visit my sponsors. Leave comments, questions, suggestions, and most of all, thank you very much for watching my videos.